It is just a beautiful day. It is March 31st. It's about 12:30 and around 44 degrees Fahrenheit. So very, very chilly. It's a little cloudy and a little sunny. I am in zone 6B and we are expecting really cold temperatures tonight, around 25 degrees Fahrenheit. But most of what I'll show you today in my herb garden are very frost hardy. So I may need to protect my rosemary, but I don't have summer herbs out here like basil, which obviously would not survive those temperatures tonight. So I cleaned up my little container garden a little bit last night. I grilled out some chicken, and that would help me get motivated to divide plants. And so sometimes it's fun to work in the evening if you have ample light, and especially in the summer when it's really hot, if you think you're going to get sunburned. I did that a lot in Florida. I would work in the evening because I wouldn't get sunburned. It was just so incredibly hot during the day. So keep that in mind this summer. If you have ample light and you're in a safe area, obviously you want to have like a fenced yard or something. Get out there and dig in the dirt in the evening. You might be surprised. You might actually enjoy it. So let me just show you some things here. I mostly refreshed a lot of my soil, and I did a video on that I think last year, maybe the year before. Basically all I do is I take my old potting soil and I mix it up with some new potting soil, just a little bit of new potting soil. Probably the ratio is about 3 to 1, 3 parts old potting soil, 1 part new potting soil, and I add more vermiculite to it to keep my containers from drying out. Now I use plastic containers. I've been using these for many, many years. The kind of container that you grow in is very important. I cannot stress that enough. I have struggled with terracotta containers, these little clay containers. They grow things beautifully sometimes, but they also will dry out on you. And then I'm too lazy around the end of the gardening season to dump them out and clean them out and put them inside for storage. I leave them outside, and then of course they just crack. So I threw away about 3 more last night. So I only have 1 left, I think, to get rid of. And sometimes you can put these on Craigslist, and people like to use those little clay pieces for mosaics and things like that. So you don't have to throw them in the dump. So I usually will put my cracked pots or on Craigslist for someone to come and get them. So anyway, I'll just show you what's growing and some of the things I've been working on in the container garden. Now, as I mentioned, the container is very important. I really like these plastic containers. I've had some questions about getting some more of these. Now, if you are interested in these little containers, they're a patented design. I've gone over this many times in my videos. I'll leave links below if you want to see where I explained it more in depth. I can only get the black ones right now, and if I get enough people interested, I can make another order and I'll get a quantity discount, and then I can pass that on to you guys. I don't know what the price will be right now, but if you'll email me over at rainbowgardens@charter.net, if I get about 10 to 12 people interested in containers, I can sell them in lots of like 5 to 10 each. I'll let you know how much they are. Okay, so let's get to the container tour here. Now this is just some thyme that's coming back. This is French thyme that I started from seed last year. It's just starting to green up on me. This is rosemary, a new plant for me. I don't really start my rosemary from seed. You can easily start these from cuttings. Just cut you off a piece, strip off the lower leaves and pop it in some water, maybe on a windowsill, and you'll have a new plant. I did buy this one because my one in my garage dried out on me over the winter. So rosemary grown in containers just will dry out on you in a heartbeat because it gets so root bound, has extensive root system on it. Then this is mint. This is some that I started last year, and I did some videos on the thyme, the mint, and the oregano that I'm going to show you. So I'll leave a link to that video to show you how I started those if you missed it. And then chives, I divided some chive plants. I had 3 out here this year. These are 2 that have stayed in containers. As you can see, I've been clipping away at them. And this is my last terracotta pot here. It seems to be doing pretty good though. Maybe that was a better made pot than the other ones. Scallions, which overwintered, so I didn't have to plant more this spring, even though I have tossed out some seeds in my square foot garden. But those are my scallions there. Tarragon is coming back real nice. Loves the cool temperatures. A new plant, lemon thyme, for me. I have some at my river garden, but I really wanted to have some here also. So I bought that transplant there, and that will be real easy to propagate. A lot of times I like to buy things like rosemary or thyme or mint, oregano, buy those herbs already established, and then just take cuttings from them and start you a new plant instead of buying a pack of seeds and having to babysit that, because those are perennials in most zones up to about zone 5, and you can easily just take cuttings, and it's just a lot easier, I think, than buying seeds. Okay, and another French tarragon, which I divided last night, and so I have 3 more French tarragon plants. So altogether I have 4 plants. And this is just some oregano that I divided. It's coming back nicely. And then more scallions, which overwintered. That means they just sat out here. All of these containers that I've shown you with the perennials, pretty much everything except for the new transplants, the rosemary and the thyme, those all just sat out here all winter long. I didn't put them in for protection or anything like that. I moved them next to my house, and they did fine in our really cold temperatures here in zone 6B. We had snow, we had just really, really cold temperatures, but as you can see, they're all coming back really nice for me. Sage also, that's one that I left out here all winter. And then we have apple mint, which I divided. I dug up some garlic chives from one of my gardens, and I decided to put garlic chives up here. So that was just dug out of a garden, popped up here. Lavender is a new one for me this year, and I think this one is another oregano plant. Now all of these little containers that you see here, which are empty, those are waiting on basil. Okay, and then back here I want to show you just a little tip about growing in containers. Make sure you have a little stand. If you can't find little stands like this, put your container on maybe rocks or something to keep it elevated off of your deck if you're growing on a wooden deck, because the moisture will accumulate under there. It'll maybe cause problems on your deck. Now I have purchased these stands at many different places. Dollar General, Aldi, I think, even had them. I can get them at my grocery store. Now they're all seasonal items, so now is the time to look for them, because a lot of times these little stores, once they sell out, they don't restock them until next season, so next year. So look for them this time of year. And also these little saucers, these little plastic saucers, sometimes they'll come with the stand. Sometimes they don't, but you can usually buy those separately. These are great, especially in the springtime. If you're starting herbs outside from seed, make sure you have some nice fresh soil. You can throw some seeds in there, and then take your little saucer that you don't really need much for the springtime. You'll need that a lot in the summer because it collects water, will help feed your plants and keep your soil moist. But in the springtime, when you're just starting your seeds, you can just turn that upside down like that, and that'll help hold in the warmth, and it'll keep the soil moist. Of course, you want to make sure your soil's moist when you start your seeds outdoors. Maybe mist them really good, but that will help hold in the moisture. Okay, and if it's windy, just turn it upside down like that and do that. And I've also used, I think this was a little pie cover. We bought a pie on Pie Day, March 14th, and I thought, well, it looks like it's going to fit perfectly in my container, which it did. And there you go, I have some dill seedlings coming up. Don't do this in the summer though, when it's really hot outside, because that will burn up your seeds and they won't germinate. But in the springtime, when it's early, that should be fine. I may even do this in late April with basil seeds. Okay, I also filled up a potato grow bag, and those are ready for potatoes. They're not in there yet. I have some chitting inside my house. And let me go ahead and just show you my indoor grow station and show you my seedlings for the summer. So here's the indoor grow system, and on top I just have basically some herbs and watercress, some lettuce that I've been growing all winter long. I have parsley, basil, some rosemary in there, and I've converted the bottom 2 shelves to seed starting areas. And so right here I have tomatoes and peppers. I'm doing some red beefsteak tomatoes along with several other tomatoes down here. These are just starting out here. I won't be able to transplant these into the garden for at least another probably 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. I've had a request to name a lot of the different peppers that I'm growing this year, so I'll go ahead and leave some of those here for you. Now on the top I have some peppers that are just now starting to come up, and so those are just a lot of summer vegetables, a couple of cucumbers, nasturtiums, that kind of thing. Okay, all right, well thanks so much for watching, and y'all have a beautiful day.